jest nasz mózg. Widzicie, on nie jest wcale zły, on zatrzymuje think tank, żeby nie wyszli na zewnątrz, żeby po prostu nie posunęli za daleko się swoimi badaniami. Jak kazadory właśnie. To jest błędem, przecież to są strasznym zagrożeniem dla pustkowia. Cześć mózgu.
Well, well, look who finally dragged themselves in out of the wasteland. And where have we been, hmm? Crawling through bits of radioactive muck again?
Jesteś moim mózgiem?
Ah, lovely. Figured that out, have we? Would you like a cookie?
Dlaczego? Sarkazm jest nie na miejscu. Spotkanie z własnym mózgiem jest dość niecodziennym zdarzeniem.
Yes, well, believe me, the opposite is equally true. Good lord, have you bathed at all since they pulled me out of you?
Swoją drogą, trochę głos mi przypomina Stewego z Family Guy. Tak, podczas biegania po kraterze pełnym dziwacznych eksperymentów higiena jest najważniejsza.
Well, I see sarcasm hasn't eluded you. Fine, perhaps now isn't the best time, but it's the principle of the thing.
Czemu jesteś takim kutasem?
Well, that's a fine how do you do. Me, quote, dick, unquote, as if I'm the one responsible for the way you carry on gadding about the wastes. I'm not the one that makes us clamber around Technus-infested ancient vaults or go charging off to New Vegas on missions of ill-conceived revenge. And have we forgotten who got us shot in the head and buried in a shallow grave? Hmm? Do you think I enjoyed that little moment?
Też tam byłem, wiesz? Cóż, przyznaję, że to były ciężkie dla ciebie przeżycia.
Well, maybe next time you hear me telling you that charging a nightkin with a penknife is a bad idea, you'll listen.
W jaki sposób Mobius cię pozyskał?
After the think tank extracted me from your skull, they fell to bickering amongst themselves. I'm sad to say we were quite forgotten about. Dr. Mobius saw an opportunity to gain some leverage and had me spirited away to his dome.
Cóż za nieprawdopodobny zbieg okoliczności.
Hardly. Dr. Mobius keeps a close optical sensor on the goings-on at the think tank. As soon as he saw the opportunity, he took it.
Jak to mu się udało?
I don't know. I'm afraid the trauma of our separation rendered me quite insensate. I didn't come around until I was safely ensconced in this tank. I'm quite sure whatever he did was highly scientific, though.
Przejdźmy dalej.
Well, as long as your curiosity is satisfied.
Zdawało mi się, że ucieszysz się mogąc wrócić do mojej głowy.
I'm not going to lie to you. The prospect is definitely not that appealing. Look at it from my perspective. Here I have peace, quiet, and safety. Well, barring the odd rogue scorpion.
No
In your head, I've got poison, radiation, grisly injuries, and biological functions. Do you know how much more you can get done when you're not constantly looking for places to urinate? It's quite a lot, I can tell you.
A co z dobrymi wspomnieniami? Co z chłodnym powiewem na policzku, z zapachem jedzenia? Z miłością?
Overrated biological feedback. Believe me, you only feel that way because you've got all that meat. Oozing hormones.
Czy równie dobrze nie dałoby się powiedzieć, że czujesz się tak tylko dlatego, że brak ci właśnie tych hormonów?
I suppose you're right. That does call certain assumptions into question, doesn't it?
A więc mamy impas. Nie możesz czuć tego co ja, a ja nie mogę myśleć tego co ty.
Indeed. Quite the conundrum. How do you suppose we resolve it?
Myślę, że powinniśmy sobie nawzajem zaufać i przyjąć do wiadomości, że oddzielenie Oddzielnie jesteśmy niekompletni.
I suppose there might be some advantage to that, yes. There's a chance that the reintegration would create some improved synergy between us.
No więc, jak będzie, mózgu? Masz ochotę na kolejną porcję dzikich przygód?
Well, I suppose you've convinced me well enough. I'll rejoin your body if that's your final decision. Unfortunately, before we get to that stage of the proceedings, we have a problem. Even if I could settle myself back in your skull and reconnect all those pesky nerve endings, Dr. Mobius doesn't have the tools here. We would have to make use of Dr. Klein's lab, and I rather doubt the brains are inclined to share.
Zaraz, ale przyobiecali mi, że połączą nas z powrotem.
And you believe them? Really? I know you were recently deprived of my fabulous advice, but... Really? Once I'm delivered into their clutches, they'll find a way past the radar fence and the whole Mojave will be their playground. And that is assuming, of course, that one of them doesn't take a fancy to our body and decide to slip his own brain into it instead.
Jesteś częścią mnie. Wiem, że tego nie chcesz, że nie chcesz tego samego co ja. Tego samego jak ja. No. Tak jak
Well,
ja.
I suppose I do miss those endorphin rushes when we save the day. All right, what's the plan?
Jeśli think tank nie zechce dotrzymać umowy, zmusimy go do tego. Chodźmy.
Right! Look out, think tank! This brain is coming out of its jar! I suppose now that we're reunited, you'll want to fill your torso up with those other meaty parts the think tank took from us. Personally, I think your upgrades are quite a bit better. But now that I'm with you, the Sync's autodock can plug them back in no problem. Right then, off we go! Klein will be in for a nasty shock when he realizes the pacification field won't work on a mind and body reunited.
To się nazywa katastrofa. W tragediach, w historiach, w opowieściach i tak dalej, i tak dalej, i tak dalej. Katastrofa nie znaczy złego, czy negatywnego, no złego, czyli negatywnego potoczenia się spraw. Jest to katastrofa po staro-grecku oznacza odwrócenie. Czyli na przykład, no możemy nawet wystąpić w komedii romantycznej, przypuśćmy, kiedy nagle bohater, który się ogania za ładną koleżanką, nagle uświadomia sobie, że brzydsza koleżanka jest dla niego lepsza, a ta brzydsza koleżanka nagle okazuje się, że jest piękniejsza i tak dalej na samym końcu filmu. To jest właśnie odwrócenie, katastrofa, na tym to polega. Balkon w zlewie. I właśnie to jest katastrofa. Ci, co dobrzy, byli dobrzy, okazali się źli. I ci, co myśleliśmy, że są źli, okazali się dobrzy. Plus, jest tu też moment, jak to się mówi, rozpoznania. Który nazywa... Nie, po grecku nie pamiętam jak jest. Coś na A. I to jest też właśnie, uświadomiliśmy sobie, że think tank jest zły, a Mobius właśnie cały czas chciał ich czymś zająć. Potrzebuję. Chcę skorzystać z usług. Wymień części ciała. Włóż swoje serce z powrotem do klatki piersiowej. Traci profil bez serca. Profil zatrzymanie krążenia. Twoje serce znalazło się z powrotem w ciele, a zostało tam też trochę zaawansowanych technologii. Twoja odporność na truciznę zmalała 50%, a roboty są tylko lekko zaniepokojone twoją obecnością. Ale z drugiej strony przedmioty lecznicze prochy działają skuteczniej. Czyli przede wszystkim właśnie steampaki. Ale to się już nie przyda. Nie przyda się. Skorzystajmy z moich usług. Ostatni raz. A, no dobrze, kocham cię. Dobra, nieważne. Wstaw kręgosłup. Tracimy bez kręgowca, ale zyskujemy profit wzmocniony kręgosłup. Twój kręgosłup znalazł się z powrotem w twoim ciele, ale został tam też trochę zaawansowanych technologii. Znowu można okaleczyć ci tułów, ale twoja siła i próg obrażeń został podwojone, +2. Żegnaj kubeczku, tosterku. Żegnajcie wszyscy, cześć Selewik. A więc... To też końcówka, więc... Muszę się nawalić. A i z tym trochę muszę jeszcze. Poczekajmy godzinę.
Would you like some toast?
Toast. Dobra. Zróbmy to! Doktor Klein czeka. Upewnij się co do swojej gotowości skończenia z tym raz na zawsze.
The lobotomite returns. Our lobotomite. Has Dr. Mobius been denominated into scrap metal and voice module parts, as we hoped?
Udało mi się odnaleźć mózg. Teraz doprowadźmy sprawę do końca.
I recommend watching your tone with me, lobotomite. Now, your brain. Hand it over, or we'll extract it again.
Nie oddam swojego mózgu. Jest parę spraw, które musimy omówić.
And what could we possibly have to speak about? You have the brain, we have the technology. All you must do is surrender. With it, we can finally leave this place. I cannot tell you how boring this place gets, chopping up the landscape and everything in it. And we have so many questions to ask your brain first. About this Mojave place. A fertile testing ground for our experiments.
Myślisz, że jestem lobotomitą? O nie, w mojej czaszce siedzi mózg Mobiusa.
That is the most insane thing I've ever heard. There's no way Mobius would condescend to step inside you. Besides, there's no way such a thing could be accomplished. It's impossible.
Dla nauki nie ma rzeczy niemożliwych. Mezony, lasery, atomy, fale mózgowe, wszystko do mojej dyspozycji.
You speak the truth. And the decibel variation in your voice, it is Mobius. How dare you breach the think tank? And what do you want here?
Znaczy ja oferuję umowę. Zostańcie tutaj, nie wychodźcie, a ja pozwolę wam żyć.
That's no deal at all. There's a whole world beyond the crater, filled with ideas and possibilities. We could have escaped, seen it all for ourselves, tested it, prodded at it, made it squirm.
Zezwolę ci to zrobić. Dla mnie.
Partner with you? My foe? My rival? My foremost critic? I have a strange sensation that I would like that. How odd. Very well, partner. The think tank is at your service as long as you do not destroy us.
Udało się, nie wierzę. Udało się ich zatrzymać. Wow. Opuść think tank. Nie chciałem ich zabijać. Ale cóż, niestety.
As it had been in the years before the Great War, Big Mountain, the Big Empty, became home to one of the brightest minds of the 23rd century. The Courier watched over the Big Empty for years to come, caring for it, and keeping its discoveries safe until they were needed to help others. Which had always been Big Mountain's purpose. Past the laboratories and science, it had always been intended as a place to build the future of all mankind.
The courier had scoured much of the Big Empty, although secrets still remained in the crater's depths. Perhaps that was for the best, however. Curiosity, while sometimes rewarded for its efforts, often proves to be equally dangerous.
Dr. Mobius continued his research undisturbed in the Forbidden Zone. As much as he had attempted to create better scorpions, he tried the same with humanity, with considerably less success. These failures didn't bother him overmuch. Once the rush of mentats wore off, he forgot he had failed in any event. After all, the bright young mind who had come to visit him in the Forbidden Zone had already exceeded his expectations.
The sink atop the dome bustled with the voices of a small town, constantly chirping, arguing, and snarling at each other. Still, this all happened productively in the interests of its new owner. The Sync Central Intelligence Unit discovered, despite its inversion code, it was comforted by the sense of community the other personalities gave it.
The Biological Research Station, obsessed with seeding everything in sight, requested a transfer to the X-22 Botanical Garden, so that it might, in its own words, sensually fertilize the garden's smooth contours. The garden sent back a polite refusal, saying it had prior commitments with a vault it had helped infect before the war.
The book chute continued to devour all seditious materials until it nearly choked on a paperclip. It adamantly maintained it was a Chinese paperclip, and the whole thing had been an elaborately orchestrated assassination attempt. Whatever the reason, it slowed down for a while, carefully appraising each document and clipboard that came to it.
The light switches continued to bicker and flicker.
This persisted until the day someone dropped a flashlight in the sink, and the two of them united in their hatred of the showboat. One of them eventually transferred to the Lightwave Dynamics plant, and began a long, unrequited affair with one of the holograms.
The thing continued to ruthlessly scrub any particulate matter that came near it. Eventually, it gained access to the magneto-hydraulics plant and nearly flooded all the Big Empty in an attempt to scrub the crater clean. Once it learned of the innovative toxins plant, however, it gained new purpose. It sought to develop antitoxins to flush into its drains and counteract the poisons bleeding into the soil.
The toaster continued its psychotic spree, reducing all appliances in range to scrap electronics and spare parts. After one of its more psychotic episodes, however, the other Sync personalities decided enough was enough, and dumped the toaster in a bathtub. Sparking and hissing, the toaster swore its enemies would rue the day when they had bread and no way to toast it.
Muggy did his best to collect coffee cups, although in his quest, he accidentally trapped himself in Higgs Village. It might have been the end for poor Muggy. Except, he found it peaceful there, tidying up the kitchens of the think tank professors back when they had been flesh and bone. Well, except for Dr. O, who was an asshole for having created Muggy in the first place. Muggy left O's house deliberately dirty, punishing the dishes and cups that lived there in blind revenge for serving Dr. O.
Blind-eye old Jefferson eventually discovered a new sound. Silence. It only made him more filled with the blues than before. It was rumored by the other personalities that he had a brief fling with the light switches. Although he forgot their names much too often and was soon left in the dark as punishment.
Autodoc, always gentle and methodical, kept sewing up the courier in all the right places when the skin split open from repeated wear and tear. The Autodoc was just glad to have purpose again. It heard its simpler brothers and sisters who got shipped to the Sierra Madre were bored out of their skulls in that toxic dead city. In time, the Autodoc found a way to deactivate the Y-17 trauma harnesses, releasing the corpses they had held prisoner for almost 200 years.
As the courier ran through the X-8 facility multiple times, the computers analyzed the test subject's movements. Rather than performing a superficial observation, they realized the subject barely knew what communism was, or even what a high school was. This confused them for a time, until the facility finally realized that its research had succeeded. So it let its cyber dogs out into the wastes to help protect small communities from physical aggression rather than communist propaganda.
The infiltration program in X-13 continued to scan for the subject and the stealth suit prototype long after the test was over. Frustrated and unable to find its lost technology, X-13 expanded its network of laser tripwires, sensors, and robo-brains out across Big Mountain. This glittering blue light beam forest cleanly bisected anything that entered its depths, slicing them into small segmented parts for easy disposal.
The courier, organs intact, continued onwards, a little less heavy of step, but with all the organs in the right places, as they should be. After all, brains can develop a life of their own when left to their own thoughts, and the courier's brain was more clever than most.
Dr. Klein and the think tank remained alive, unaware of the world outside. They looped through their daily routine, none the wiser about the world beyond, although perhaps wiser was the wrong word. The world outside belonged to the courier, and if anyone would shape it, well, the courier had already called dibs.
There is an expression in the wasteland, old world blues.
It refers to those so obsessed with the past they can't see the present, much less the future, for what it is.
They stare into the what was, eyes like pilot lights, guttering and spent, as the realities of their world continue on around them.
Science is a long, steady progression into the future. What may seem a sudden event often isn't felt for years, even centuries to come.
In the times following the Second Battle of Hoover Dam, however, old world blues took on a new meaning.
Where once it was viewed as a form of sadness, nostalgia, it became an expression describing the potential for the future.
It can be easy to see science as evil, technology unchecked as the source of all ills, all misfortunes.
With the courier at the helm, science became a beacon for the future. There was old world blues, and new world hope. And hope ruled the day at Big Mountain.
We could say more, but the stories in the Big Empty speak for themselves. Now armed with the transportal Ponder, the courier could return to the dome at any time and crack open the secrets of the Big Empty one by one. The Sync sat vigilant, waiting for its master to return, shoes covered in Mojave dust. Only one road yet remained, and it was one the courier had to walk alone.
Tracisz profit bezmózgowiec. Otrzymujesz profit mózgowiec. Twój mózg jest z powrotem w swoim ciele, ale pozostało tam również trochę zamasowanych technologii. Twoja odporność na uzależnienia jest teraz o 10% większa. O dziwo, twój próg obrażeń zwiększył się o 10%. Zdobywasz teleporter z Wielkiej Góry. Może on cię transportować pomiędzy pustkowiami Mojave a Wielką Górą. Po prostu wyciągnij teleporter jak każdą inną broń i pociągnij za spust. już koniec. Oj, tak mi trudno się pożegnać z tą grą. Wielkie dzięki za oglądanie. Nie będę tu się bardzo rozwijał. Niedługo będzie Fallout 4. I co tu wiele mówić. Ta gra jest tak nadal świetna do tej pory. Dziękuję wszystkim, którzy przebili ze mną tę długą podróż od samego początku. Fajna sprawa. Świetna gra. Jeszcze raz wielkie dzięki za oglądanie. Do zobaczenia w innych filmach i seriach. A przede wszystkim w Falloutie 4. Siemanko.
Well now, look what rolled in. What, you getting lonely out there?
Można tak powiedzieć. Gotowa ponownie połączyć siły?
Was reminded why I left this place soon as I walked in. Let's go.
War. War never changes.